have to answer the questions. Okay, all right. Welcome to the March meeting of the Tampa Bay Camera Club. As you may have noticed, Jim is not here tonight. He is totally out of pocket. He can't even access Zoom. So he left on Tuesday. So I have taken, he handed everything over to me to take care of the, I got the images, I set up the score sheets, I've set up the Lightroom, everything. So bear with me, guys. And he will not be back next week either. So he's on an assignment that's like 9 or 10 days long. So we will not see him next week either. Anyway, I don't see any new folks here today. It's all our stalwart regulars. I'm glad to see everybody here. And trying to keep my notes here. I just wanted to make sure if you haven't renewed your membership, to please go onto the website and renew it using the fill out the form so we get all your pertinent information, and pay via, you need to pay via PayPal. And don't forget about our logo store. You saw Judy's shirt, you've seen mine here. I've got the this is the polo shirt that's available, and we have the, you know, you can get colors. So if you go in there and you can play with the settings and get a different color shirt. If you don't have to get black and white if you don't want it. If you want a light color shirt, you need to start with the white shirt to get the right logo on there, because there's a logo for light colored shirts and there's a logo for dark colored shirts. So if you want a dark shirt, then you start with a dark shirt, dark color. So, and this one actually is blue. It's not, it looks purple, but it's blue. But anyway, that's you know, keep those in mind. And okay, what else we got here? Yeah, Victoria asked about it. All the last few months have been uploaded to the website under video archives. Let me share my screen and I can show you where it is. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so here's the our main page when you go to mytbcc.com. If you click on this little menu jobby up here in the corner, the second page comes up, and the archive video meetings are right here where it says archive under pages in this site. If you click on that, it takes you to all the meetings. And most of our speakers have not let us record their presentations because they're proprietary information. They sell these talks. So if they have it, if it's online, somebody else could access it, and, you know, kind of, it makes it pointless for everybody to pay for it. But Eileen was willing to let us, she just doesn't want us sharing it with anybody else. So hopefully, you know, you guys take a look at it if you're interested, you know, want to see it again, or if you know, review it. And it's this one right here, Technical Night 226. So most of all the other ones here are competitions. So if you missed a competition, unfortunately, it looks like Jim, some of them didn't get put in as we would have liked, but, you know, unfortunately, Zoom is not always reliable in recording everything properly. Okay, so the other thing that you can find on this page, if you don't know where it is our competition results are right here. And then the competition assignments are under this one, and they're all listed right here. And so this month, obviously, the competition assignment was for Nightscapes. Next month is Places of Worship. And if you read through this, you can see the explanation for it. And then May is Flowing Water. And June is Long Exposure. As you read down here, you can see what's going on for the competition assignments. For technical nights, back to our first page here on the web page. And next Friday night, Robert's going to be talking about the updates, tips and tricks on Lightroom. And they've made a lot of updates to it. And then he's going to be going over some of the really good parts about Lightroom. So you have to spend actually less time in Photoshop and more time in Lightroom. And for me, it's a lot easier in Lightroom. So he's going to talk about range mask, color grading, and the print module and map features. So there's a lot of stuff. Now, you know, collect your issues and your questions about Lightroom and pose them to Robert next week. So we have a good back and forth type of meeting on this. It's basically on Classic, not the mobile version or the online version. This is on the Classic version of Lightroom. And then in April, we're going to be talking about long exposures and double exposure, which is if you saw on the assignments, those are coming up. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we've got coming up for the future talks or for future assignments. That's going to be the talk. And then May, and that will be Robert, and probably Lee and I may chime in on this a little bit as well to help him out, since Jim is probably not going to be here for that meeting either. He has gotten inundated with work, so we won't be seeing a whole lot of him. He may be able to pop in briefly, but he's got major stuff going on for the next several months. Anyway, in May, we're going to be having a presentation on vertiramas, which showed you guys briefly last month. The speaker is going to be Padma Ingava. She lives up in, I believe she's in Maryland. And she does, among other things, she does vertiramas, which are taking images up like this, and then putting them all together to get a big, long, instead of a panorama, it's a vertirama. So it's up and down rather than side to side. So, and she does primarily churches and synagogues and places of worship. Unfortunately, we couldn't get her before our places of worship subject came up, but this is kind of a really unique way of seeing things. And I've shot a lot of churches and their beautiful domes and stuff like that. And I wish I had known about this before I had done that. And going forward to the future, I'm looking forward to learning more from her on this one. So that's what we'll be doing in May. Don't forget about Sunday, April the 25th. We'll be meeting in person at Robinson Preserve in Bradenton. Brian suggested this place, and it's really a nice place. I went there a few weeks ago, and I took my long bird lens and a wide angle on my infrared camera, and I saw a few birds. There were a lot of egrets and stuff like that. This is a red-bellied woodpecker, but I spent most of my time taking landscape pictures with the infrared, and this is the observation tower they have. We're going to be parking relatively close to that. And then there's this one here is a view. These both are actually views from the observation tower. This is with the wide angle lens. You can see the bridge way in the back there. And this was actually taken with my bird lens. So you can actually take landscapes with a bird lens when you're far enough away from everything. Then there's a huge amount of boardwalks and bridges, and I only took one path. One path was about, I don't know, probably 1 mile, 2 miles long. I'm not sure exactly how long it was, but there's other areas in the park too. Try a little ICM, and this is why we changed it from Saturday to Sunday, because I wanted to get this pavilion. It's not air conditioned, but it's screened in, and it's right near the entrance to the trailhead and the parking lot. So it is really convenient. Actually, you can see it. Here's the map. If you come in, if you use the address, it's right here, and you come in on 17th Street, and the entrance is right here on 99th Street South Northwest. If you come to the parking lot, this right here is the pavilion. So you park in here somewhere, and there's the trailhead right here. I'm sorry, I can't get this thing out of the way, but there's the trailhead is right here, and right here is the pavilion we're going to be using. So we have the pavilion all day. It will be available from 8:30 until 5:30. Our plan is to meet at 9 o'clock. And then, if you want to bring your lunch, we have a place, there's, tables and chairs in there, or picnic tables. We can have lunch, just everybody bring, their own lunch, and we can hang out and sort of visit for a little while after we walk around the park. So anybody have any questions about that? No? Everybody's still there?
Yeah, it sounds like
Okay,
fun.
okay, okay.
I want to mention something. Across the street, you see where where it looks like there's another body of water, and there's a round thing that's kind of green. That is a botanical garden. And I went there, and it pretty much sucks. So you might not want to waste your time. You might see that and say, oh, I want to go there and take photos, but
Okay.
I wasn't terribly impressed. Of course, I'm not much of a flower guy, but it wasn't really good.
Yeah, that's Brian. He's not a flower guy, except when you're in Thuya Gardens in Maine. Northwest
But,
Harbor
I mean, there
Bank.
really weren't a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
I guess my point is that, you might want to run over there and check it out if you're into that, but you're probably going to be disappointed. So
Yep.
just,
Yeah.
be aware.
Okay. Robert, do you have any comments?
No.
Anybody else have
We
any
do
questions?
have a new
comments?
face. Jeff Yancey has showed up. I don't know who that is. Or Jeff Yancey.
He's a visitor. He's a visitor.
Okay.
Thanks for your, I'm sorry, Jeffrey, you had a hard time getting in. Thought we had a little bit of a glitch with Zoom.
Okay, that's okay. I figured it out.
Okay. I'm glad you were on the list so that you got the second email.
Correct. Thank you.
And Caesar, has your guest come in?
These are what he went.
No, she hasn't.
Okay.
I was on mute again.
Okay, that's okay. All right. So if there's do we have Jack or any of the other officers have any comments?
No,
Okay,
just
I
that.
guess we're good to
I
go.
have nothing to add.
Okay.
Nothing to add. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Here we are on the assignment. My Zoom is like disappeared. Caesar, do me a quick favor. Send me a private chat because the chat's disappeared too on me. Ugh. I had it, everything was working great, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. I think what it is I know why.
This wouldn't have happened had Jim been here.
Yeah, I know. Give me a hard time, Robert.
You don't remember? I was just trashing Jim just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. Where's okay? I've got everything up here now. Why does it shut? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, now I got it. Okay. But can you see the chat?
No,
No.
we can only see Lightroom.
You can only see Lightroom. Okay, that'll work then. All right. So it's pretending like it's on another screen when it's not. Okay, that's good. All right. All right. Are we ready to start judging? Caesar?
Caesar's talking, but he's on mute.
Okay. All right.
Caesar,
Let's
you're
get,
on
Let's just
mute.
okay, now I can see.
okay. Now we're gonna get serious here. And don't forget, if it's yours, you use it's gonna be a 0.
For me,
Zero, not zero.
Not 0, but I
Zero.
will fix the score if it's yours.
Yeah.
You don't have to vote on yours, in other words. The chat went away again. Where'd it go?
wait a minute. Snap.
Uh-oh, what happened?
No, nothing.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. I'm bouncing around on with my mouse too much. My chat left.
What's the name of that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Night Reflections at the Fair. Just 1 decimal point. Caesar.
Okay.
That isn't even showing up in a spreadsheet, Lynn.
I haven't put it there. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to do 3 things at once here. All right. Next one is Night Lights.
Oh,
Don't forget, Caesar, you're voting. You're scoring it.
Lynn, we're not seeing the whole picture. We're
Yeah.
seeing the top is chopped off.
There you go.
No, go to fit.
What?
You're on 100%. You need to go over to the left a bit and hit fit. On the top, up the top left.
Oh, yeah, sorry. My bad.
There you go.
I've been fooling around with this.
There's a Lightroom tips and tricks next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it. It's hard when you're trying to do 3 things at once here.
Tease it. Just teasing.
Leave me alone, guys. I'm trying. Come on. All right. That is the first one was an award for Chuck. The second one is an honorable mention for Catherine.
Lynn, are you supposed to be giving the scores?
Oh, I'm sorry. Like I said, okay. For Chuck, the score is 22 and it's award. And for Catherine, the score is 22 and it's an honorable mention, and it has to do with the A and A+ rankings, guys, just so you know. All right, so the next one is called Capturing the Magnificent Night View. All right, I don't know what's going on with my iPad's giving me a fit here. I'll get better at this, guys, I promise.
You're doing fine, Lynn.
Okay,
We're just being
Okay.
typical
score-
what we are.
the score is 25, and that's an award for Chuck Edwards.
Lynn, tap your tab key.
Tab key?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
There you go.
there we go. Get rid of all the other junk. Thank you. The next one is called Straz at Night. Understand this thing. 8. Sorry, guys. Score is 23. That's an award for Dave Lockwood. Next one is St. Pete Skyline. Score is, wait a minute, that didn't work. Oops. Score is 23. That's an award for Caesar. Next one is Bridge to the Don Cesar. Don't worry, I'm hitting all the wrong things here. God. Ugh. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, the score is 23. That's an award for me. Next one is outdoor dining room. Caesar? Oh, never mind. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Dave Lockwood. Next one is It's Almost Over, Pandemic 2021. Score is 23. That's an award for Karen Robinson. Next one is A Nightly Scene at Duquesne. I don't know how to say that. Boulevard. Duquesne Boulevard. I'm not Greek. I'm sorry.
Duquesne.
Duquesne.
Everything's silent.
Okay. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Lee Brand. Next one is Blue Bridge. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Fong. Next one is Just Another Night at Duquesne Boulevard, whatever. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Lee. Next one is Firefighting Boat. Score is 23. That's an award for Brian. Next one is Life on the Streets. The score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Karen. Next one is Bike Light Trail. Score is 23. That's an award for Brian. Next one is Convention Center Altered Reality. It's a composite and an ICM. Score is 23. That's an award for Jim McWilliam. Next one is Along the River in Tampa. Score is 23. That's an award for Jim McWilliam. Oops, sorry. Next one is Monumental Nightscape. Score is 23. That's an award for Caesar. Okay, that's all for assigned. Let's go to general. First one is called Blood and Guts.
You need to fix your screen again.
Oops.
Tab key, tab key.
Yeah, now and again.
I got too many things I'm poking around on here, guys. All right, now we can get rid of this. Okay, got it. Blood and Guts. Score is 23. That's an award for Caesar. Next one is the Night and Day Experience. Score is 24. That's an award for Chuck Edwards. Next one is called Bridge Dweller. Score is 22. That's an award for Doug Halstead. Glad to see you back in competition, Doug. It's been a while. Next one is Golden Glory. It's a 22. That's an honorable mention for Catherine. Next one is Moonlight Dinner. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Lee. Next one is Shadows to the Tower. Score is 23. That's an award for me. Next one is Romantic Swan Beauty. Score is 21. That's an honorable mention for Fong. Next one is Into the Woods, Altered Reality. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Sylvia. Next one is The Lines of Palms, Altered Reality. Score is 23. That's an award for me. Next one is A Light in the Forest. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Catherine. Next one is Little House on Moonlight. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Fong. Next one is called Azalea. Score is 23. That's an award for Sylvia. Next one is Foliage and Reads and IR. It's Altered Reality. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Sherry Halstead. Next one is called Enchanted Forest. It's Altered Reality. Score is 23. That's an award for Sherry. Next one is Bionic Squirrel. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Doug. Next one is Light Canopy Stroll. The score is 23. That's an award for Brian. Last one is Streets of Light, Altered Reality, Composite, and in ICM. Score is 22. That doesn't make any sense. The score is 22 and it's an award for Jim McWilliam. And that's it, guys. Does everybody want to take a quick break?
Let's get done.
Sure.
Before we go on to doing critiques?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a 5-minute break. Let's come back at 7:52. And we'll get going again.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, unlock your screen.
What do I need? Oh, I need to click.
Yeah. It should be down at the bottom.
Zoom. Okay. Okay, you should be able to get in now, Jim, or Robert.
Don't ever make that mistake again.
And Caesar, if you're still there, we'd like you to contribute, and anybody else, we want to get everybody involved in doing the critiques, like kind of like we used to do at Genesis.
I want you to never call me Jim again.
Why?
Lynn called me Jim.
Honest mistake.
I'm my mother's daughter.
Yeah.
I can never
Hey.
remember people's names.
Joe and I passed for your cousin.
Here you go.
I know, but
Lynn, read your chat.
The poor nurse had a little trouble with it, but we were doing fine.
my mother had 6 kids, and the only name she could remember was mine. So she
That's
called.
from yelling at you.
Yeah, so that's the truth.
Hey,
That-
Robert, I think this is the best set of assigned we've seen. Every photo matched exactly the assignment. And Of course, that wasn't all that hard to do, but there was some really good looking stuff in this.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
Okay, how many we end up with? I can see everybody sort of. Once I got the rhythm down of all that, I got it pretty well. I did it pretty well, I thought.
You were brilliant.
It's dealing with two different sets of stuff here. It's not easy because I kept trying to put the scoring in the wrong keypad. Doesn't help when I try to put it in the computer when I need to put it in the iPad.
But you did a great job. That's a
We'll
lot.
expect excellence next week.
That's a lot to do.
Better next
Yeah.
time.
Hey, Lynn, if this is the same case any other time, would another person help? I mean, is it?
Yeah,
Does
I
it make-
might have to do that. If we have to do this again, I may have to
Yeah,
pull somebody else in to do the scoring or something. It's just trying to do both this. I mean, it worked out pretty good. Once I figured out how to, my biggest problem
Yeah.
is doing two things at once. Like I said, I'm using the wrong keypad when I should, it's
Yeah.
it's right here in front of me, but I'm still, trying to put the numbers in the wrong keypad.
Yeah.
That was the only problem. So,
well, I volunteered Joe, so,
okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Joe appreciates that, I'm sure.
yeah.
Oh, Joe?
Or let's see, who else isn't at their chair? Robert's not there, but he's already in this, so,
Yeah, anybody who's at the chair is apt to
yeah.
to get volunteered.
Yeah, Joe's away, so we'll pick on Joe. It's only fair.
Yeah, I see we got Tony online and Dobson's here tonight. Wow.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Dobson in a while. We got Jack and Lori. There's Lori. She's playing on her phone. And Tony Gomes is here. I can't believe it. Well, he
Wow.
was here last month too. So.
Sounds like it's gonna be kind of cool tonight and tomorrow night.
It was pretty cool this morning when I went out to
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys in Pinellas County got any rain. I think I got about 5 drops over here and I need it.
Yeah, I mean, instead of cleaning my car off, it just got dirtier.
Yeah, mine, it just sprinkled at my house and just across the road, it had downpour.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I live in Lutz and we got a spit. That was it. We didn't
Yeah.
get anything. Yeah.
We got a lot, but
Yeah.
it didn't last long. We had pretty high winds and it had some heavy showers.
You're up farther north, aren't you, Sherry?
Yeah, I'm up in Hudson,
Yeah.
so
Closer to there. It looks like the coast up there kind of got the most of it.
yeah, they did.
Yeah, I watched it coming on television, the radar stuff, you saw a big gap. There was
Yeah,
2 separate.
I
storms.
noticed that too. It just like went around us.
Yeah, and that gap went right over my house, and I was very pleased. But like I said, just less than a mile
Yeah.
away, they had a downpour.
It was all of a sudden this big gap, and that's where Tampa was.
Yeah.
I spent 3 days getting up as much of the leaves as I could because they make a big mess. The street sort of floods in front of my house because the oak trees disrupt the natural flow of the water. So I cleaned up all the leaves so I wouldn't have a bunch of leaves in front of the house in a little pool. And then it didn't even rain in my
Of course. Around
least
my
you-
house, it's not leaves right now, it's pollen.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
fact.
drifts
And we
of
need the
pollen.
rain to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, drifts of pollen in my carport. It's like, there's no leaves, it's just pollen everywhere. And I am so freaking allergic to it. It's terrible. So,
We got a number of, not a number, but we have a handful of outdoor cats around here. And they're all the dark ones. You can see pollen all over them.
Well, you know, the pollen that's gotten on my car, and I keep my car in the garage, but the pollen that's gotten on it, you just can't wipe it off.
Yeah.
no,
You have even scraping with your fingernail. It's hard to get it out.
yeah.
You have to wax it out.
My white car turns yellow because I am
Well,
surrounded by oak trees.
A while ago, I joined the Unlimited Car Wash Club down at Mr. Car Wash.
Yeah.
And I'm going at least about every 2 or 3 days.
Well, guys, let's get ready. Let's get back to it. Robert, you ready? Oh, before we got started, I just wanted to say hi to Jeff. He's a visitor. If you want to unmute yourself real quick. Just kind of welcome. And I just wanted to ask you, I know you got referred. Who did you get referred by?
Actually, I just found you online.
Okay, great. That's awesome.
Just
And
moved.
what kind of photography do you do?
Well, 35 millimeter. I was in a camera club in Cleveland, the Cleveland Photographic Society.
Awesome.
I've only been in Tampa about 2 months.
Oh, welcome then. So
Tired,
glad hopefully you can make it to one of our in-person events. Yeah, we welcome anybody, and as you can see, we're kind of a diverse group here, and we do a lot of different type of photography. So any kind of photographer, they're welcome. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and get started on the critiques. And Caesar, don't hesitate to chime in with Robert here.
Wait.
All right.
Wait,
Yes.
what are you waiting for?
Jeff, you gotta come back up, man.
Who?
Unmute yourself.
Who? Jeff.
Jeff Yancey.
Oh,
Yes,
Okay, you say you came from Cleveland.
yes.
I'm
Cleveland,
sorry.
Ohio.
I apologize.
Well, welcome to Florida.
Yeah, glad to be here.
You say you retired. You retired from what?
Fire department in Cleveland.
Okay, and then the next thing you said I shoot 35 millimeter. That means you're still in film?
No, I was in film, but now, of course, digital.
You're in
Yeah,
digital now.
I did start in film, black and white and color.
All right, so I just want to bring you up to speed now. We don't say 35 millimeter anymore.
Sorry. Yeah, that was a slip.
Yeah, they don't call it miniature anymore.
Right.
And you
That was a good catch.
you found us online.
Yes, I was just searching and found camera clubs, and it came up.
And your camera club back in Cleveland, this is the kind of stuff you guys did?
Pretty similar.
Okay.
Pretty similar.
Well, in the next 30, 40 minutes, you're going to see how it's different.
Okay. Yeah, I see
Right,
some
it's
very,
gonna run
very
over
nice
time.
work so far.
Yeah.
Very nice work.
Well, we got the real thing comes here now. Just so you guys know, I was the first. I judged these as well as Robert and Caesar, so I'll be chiming in as well. Since Jim was totally out of pocket, so let's go. Robert, you ready to do the critiques?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's see. We got this first one here. My only problem with this first one is that there is no central focus.
Right.
And so that's a main problem with me. I have no place to land.
Would it? I was thinking. I'm going to pull this up here and go to develop. We could probably make a couple of pictures out of this one. What do you think?
Absolutely.
That works.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we did something like this,
See, now I have a place to land.
right?
Right.
Just gave it just and the fair is a difficult thing to do because there is so much there. And
Lynn, I beg to differ. You, in 2 seconds, you just did something.
what?
You said it's a difficult thing to do. In 2 seconds, you just did something.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Yes.
Well, that's what I don't go with I shoot with a wide angle lens a lot. I don't take a wide angle lens to the fair.
Right.
Because you want to narrow your point of view. So.
And this right here is a very strong image because it does have symmetry in a sense. It has graphics. It has it is a point of interest. So you're there. Yes, I take down the highlights, but then that's a little bit different.
The one thing that I would like to add, that if I was taking the picture, I also would have used my tripod and tried to capture the Ferris wheel when it was moving. I was recently out doing some photography at a nearby fair, and yes, the Ferris wheel stops at key points to let people on and off, but then it starts moving. And I think that it would have been, it would have improved the image even more if you would have had some blur, not too much, but some blur of the Ferris wheel to capture movement.
Right, and well, we went, some of us went to the state fair last year, and that's we spent, I don't know, 2 hours by this pond shooting the Ferris wheel. I don't think this is a state fair. I think it's a different one. But we, at the Florida State Fair, we stopped and we spent, and and it changed. These big fancy Ferris wheels have different colors. So it's really a lot of fun to wait for them to move. Now, part of the problem we had was it was a slow night, so they weren't moving very much. But it definitely makes a difference if the Ferris wheel is moving, because the water is moving just a little bit, and with the movement of the Ferris wheel, it's that movement in the water is not quite so apparent.
So I'm confused because it's ISO 160, so that had to have been taken on a tripod, and I don't know.
It's possible. It's Chuck, and I don't think Chuck's here tonight, so we can't ask him. So we'll move on to the next one.
Okay. I do have one major problem with this image, and this is Catherine, right?
Yep.
Catherine, are you on board? You can unmute.
Yes, sir. Here I am.
Okay. Now, when you look at this photograph, your main focus is the light on the whatever that thing is in the foreground.
Sculpture.
The sculpture. All right, that's in the foreground. Now let's look at what's happening in the background. You have a bank there, a building that's actually intersecting with your foreground. And the part of the statue on the right-hand side, you see how it goes into the building?
Yes,
Becomes a major, major distraction.
I see.
All right. Yeah, 2 or 3 steps to the right, and you would have been able to separate them.
Too bad.
The other thing I perhaps could add to that is, I'm not sure what aperture setting you used, but it appears to me that text in that building is in total focus. I can't tell from but it looks like that building is in focus. And so, which then adds to part of the challenge, in which when you look through the statue, the building is in focus. So if you perhaps tried a more open aperture, 4.5 or 2.8 if you had it, that would have enhanced to provide some degree of separation using focus, or you could perhaps try something in Photoshop, I guess, to blur the background.
Now, I'm going to challenge you on that one. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. The step to the right would have given me separation, as Lynn has mentioned. And I don't think that there would have been a problem with focus. There is totally a problem with separation.
Right.
So if I defocus the background, I still have the same problem.
True.
Yeah.
Would you,
Go ahead.
would you take the values down a little bit on that building also, so that it, because they're almost at the same value if you look at the, you know, as far as the lighting goes, as far as the tone. You know, I'm saying here, this built, where it's reflecting in the sky, it's almost as bright as the actual statue is. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you, Sherry. And you know, all of this is mute if you don't move that step to the right.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying, I agree with you on that, but I'm just saying if you're leaving it in there, maybe you also take the values down.
Yeah.
So it would make, you know, it's set more in the background and you have even more separation.
I
you know.
agree. I agree.
Thank you.
Caesar, don't flatten my tires now.
I like this one.
This one's Chuck's.
This shot is so stupid.
It's so good. It's so stupid.
I know it's so stupid and good. I wonder if this is a composite.
I don't think so.
Where was it taken, Chuck?
Chuck's not here, so we don't know.
Oh, Chuck.
It's
I
gotta
mean,
be
it's
out
like
west.
someplace out in the southwest, like
Yeah.
I'm
around
sure it's
Death
Utah.
Valley.
Yeah,
Or
you don't
California.
have to-
I bet it's Utah somewhere because he did a lot of traveling in Utah.
Yeah.
and look at the topography. It's,
Tall fellow.
I'm not even sure that's on planet Earth.
It may be a composite, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Because that sky is pretty good. I mean, you know, there's not much movement in those stars. There's a little bit, but to have the light on the foreground, I mean, yeah, it's possible. It's hard with the astrophotography. It's really hard to tell because most of them are combined shots.
Yeah, most of these things, especially when you put people in there.
Yeah, especially because they're, you know, normally they would be moving around, and those guys are pretty sharp.
Yeah. And the leading line leading up to the photographers is just, I mean, the leading light leading up to photographers is just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yes, right here.
Right.
Lead your eye right up there, and then you kind of
Yep.
go out into this, and then there's all
That's
this to look at as well.
So, man,
That is beautiful.
that is more than beautiful. Okay, Jim, I'll take your word for it. It's beautiful.
This one is Dave's.
Now, Dave, you know, you see the lights at the bottom? The lights along the shoreline here. I'm not sure if I can point them out. My
You
cursor
can
is
take
going.
it. You should have take control. You can take control. There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay, good. You see these lights here? Well, the lights down here are anchoring me quite a bit. You see this area up here, these buildings, these values can come up more to match this value down here. Because the part up top is equally important as the part on the bottom. And that's where your balance needs to be. I think we're a little bit bottom heavy, but all of your interest is up top. If that makes sense. Does not? It does?
Thing, yeah.
Would it work if the bottom was lowered, Robert?
You can lower the bottom, but you're still going to need to raise the top. And I mentioned that in a sense of, let's see, a quick deal on this would be something along this line right here.
Light brush.
Yeah, a brush would work better for it. But the point I'm making here, make sure the inverter's turned on, and I'll bring that exposure up a little bit, bring that city up like that. And then I'll come back and then pull this down here, down a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're doing is we're giving these two areas value. Now I'm gonna do just one more thing here, one little small thing, and that's gonna be with the brush. And in this small thing I'm gonna do with the brush, your feather is up high, your flow is about 80%. Okay, that's pretty good. Is I am going to just to make sure that we maintain interest down at the bottom. Down here, I'm going to overly push that just a tiny bit. Push that just at the color line. So if that, you see,
Oh, yeah.
so now the lights up of the city kind of come up, they come up.
Right.
That's my only concern.
What I was surprised about with that photo is it appears that the pier in the foreground, the fences doesn't seem to be completely in focus, and I didn't know how that was possible given the fact that it's taken on a tripod. But as I'm saying this, I realize that the pier might be bobbing in the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could be because it was a 30-second exposure. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's water, and things don't stay still in the water. Constantly moving.
The only comment I had was this white line on this side.
Yes, that was the other one.
I think I would cut that off.
Yeah, go ahead and crop into that because that was the other problem. You're right. So yes, and that is truly, and I want to point that out because that's going to come into play again. These light lines at the edge of a photograph. We got to make sure that we don't put them in there unless there are three sides that are light. If you got three sides that are light, then that's fine. But you only have that one. So.
Okay, good comments.
Yeah.
Good, Dave?
Yeah.
All right, next one. This
This
one's Caesar.
Oh man. Okay, Lynn, go ahead because I'm about to take Caesar and out to the woodshed.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, Caesar.
I'm listening.
Anybody else want to say anything about this photograph before I take him out? Anybody see the problem I see with this photograph?
Well, right in the foreground, there's a piece of construction equipment.
Okay, he can't go down there and move that. He's super, but he ain't Superman.
Well, I think one problem I could have toned down that purple up there.
What purple?
Yeah.
What purple?
The net.
Pink, maybe it's pink.
Why? Why tone it down?
Highlights.
Why?
Because it's disproportionately bright in comparison to.
And so, not a problem.
I think there's a streak of light that should be toned down.
Where?
A vertical streak of light that's very distracting.
Right, you talking right over in this area?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with you there. But there's a major problem here. And it's a Robert Rostick thing.
Of course.
Nobody said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up.
Too much
I don't see it.
foreground.
Foreground's not so much of a problem. You can take that off, but that's not a problem. Not a major problem. The problem is in my world, you don't block up the blacks. You don't block up the blacks. And if you start blocking up the blacks where there's no detail, let's see, okay, where's my flow? Bring my flow up like so. Where there's no, let me go back to my shadows. You tell me you're hiding something. And if you're highlighting everything else and you're hiding something, what is the reason why? I know that's too much. I understand that that's too much. But why? Because all of those are pieces of information. They're pieces of information that leads me to wherever it is you're taking me. Let me go back to my blacks. Go ahead and put the blacks back. bring those shadows up. That's what it is. The shadows up. All right. I don't have to stay there. But don't give me information that's going to lock me up when I don't need it.
So what about
So
that? Like,
just for the record,
What about
there's
that? Say again?
for the record, there's a photo coming up later tonight that I took that I deliberately blocked up the shadows, and I have a reason why.
And I know, and I'm going to tell you, it's disturbing. It is very disturbing. Again, I don't have to have a lot of detail, but give me just enough to say, okay, I know what's going on. Otherwise, you're hiding something.
Ah.
Yeah.
okay, so
No, like,
what
look
about the
at
trees
look
in
at
the
the
middle
pier
of the city?
itself.
What
Look at
about
you can't tell the difference of the ground on the pier itself versus the surface of the water. They could be the same thing for all we know.
You mean this? Wait a minute, hold on.
Well, no, the area you were just working in.
Yeah, I know. It looked like it was all water.
Yeah, versus the area on the pier that's blocked up.
Right. So by opening this area up just enough to define that there's something there, I can move on. I can enjoy the rest of the photograph. But if I'm all blocked up, it looks all the same.
what about the trees in the middle of the city, Robert?
The trees right in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just opened up just a tiny bit. Again, I don't need to see a whole bunch, but I need to know that they are trees.
Yeah. Okay.
So in my world, you don't block up the blacks, and yes, I'm laughing.
Okay.
And at the same time, you don't throw away the highlights either.
Any
All right,
questions,
so
Caesar?
that's my deal.
Yes.
Okay. Next one.
Lynn, point it out to me.
What?
Point out
I'd
to me.
bring down the light on the right side there. I would bring it.
Yes,
Very
that.
Believe me, I tried and I couldn't get it to come down.
Now I'll tell you how to do it.
Okay.
All right. You see that? I don't know if you see my cursor.
Yes, I can.
Okay. You see this area right here?
Yeah.
You take that whole area,
Okay.
drag it down inside of Photoshop, drag it
Oh,
down
I
on
see what
top
you're
of
saying.
this.
Okay.
And
Like
then-
a patch.
Yes, and then you invert it. You put a mask over it, invert it, and just paint in just enough of
Okay.
what you want.
Okay. Yeah. Because I tried a couple of different things and it wasn't working for me. So I kind of just said, well, whatever.
Now the
Right,
rest of them are fine. I mean,
Okay.
it's okay to have them bright, but this one right here is just
Right.
it's
Okay.
taking the cake. That's-
Robert, can you say that again, how you do that? Can you tell me that again?
all right, you see this beautiful area right here. You
Mhm.
take the good, you make a copy of it inside of Photoshop, put it on its own layer, drag it down on top of the bad area, and stretch it out using transform just to make sure you got enough. And then you add a layer mask, invert the mask so the whole thing is hidden. Take a brush and then slowly paint in what you want.
Okay.
Sounds
Okay.
so simple.
Lanny, you take this to Photoshop?
Yeah, I can take it in Photoshop. Mm.
Yeah, this is something that's done quite a bit in the advertising world. Do it all the time, as they say. Well, at least in my advertising world. Am I being boring right here?
No, we're just,
Oh,
if I known you were going to use Photoshop, I would have put it up already. It's just taking a minute for it to come up.
I just want to make sure I'm not being boring.
You're never boring, Robert.
Okay, all right.
Not even close.
But you make an honest attempt at it. That's
Okay, I'm
I'll
not
say
sure
this out loud, but I
why
love
the
you.
image didn't come in. Oh, there it is. Sorry. I got so many things open, it's struggling.
Okay.
There we
Okay.
go. All
All
right,
right.
there you go. Your head, it's all yours.
So I got my lasso tool. Let's see if I can set it up right here. Lasso. Okay, yes. All right. Then lasso didn't take it. All right, where is it? Okay, there we go. Got it. All right, here's my good area, right here. That's good. Command J, which means it's on its own layer right now. There's the good. Wow, you got a heavy feather on this thing.
No.
Ooh, I just realized that. Whoa. Okay. And then get my move tool. And I move the good on top of the bad.
Even though it's so wacky shaped?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Command T. And I'm going to transform this. You notice it doesn't matter what, see what I'm doing?
Yeah, it looks like you're transforming the other part. Oh, but you're gonna do a mask. I see what you're gonna do.
Yes. All I need to do is just make it bigger than normal. That's all. Okay. All right. Doesn't have to be straight or anything like that. Enter in a return. Add your layer mask. I'm going to go ahead and add a mask, and normally I'd hold down the Option key or Alt key and to come in black. And then I'll invert the mask, Command letter I. So it's now hidden. Space bar, click and drag. Now, I'll tell you something I do now with a brush. Whenever I'm doing retouching on anything, I'm going to hold down the Option and Alt. And wait a minute, hold on. I don't think, no, it's not going to give me the shortcut. Okay, that's a soft brush. My opacity is going to go up to 100%. My flow is going to go down to about somewhere between 10 or less. So I'm going to go about, okay, 7. That's good. Low flow, bigger brush. Oh, not that big. Woo, geez. And I'm simply, oh, not that small either. And I'm simply going to paint in what I need. Okay, I need that right there. Don't worry, I know it's too much. Unblend that. I mean, uncheck that because I didn't move it over enough. Move tool. Okay, and let me go back to my mask and B brush. Your brush is showing a little bit lighter than mine.
Mhm.
Okay, so I paint over this little area right here, down to there. Hit the X key, take away what I don't need on the edge, and that's pretty much how you do the patching.
Okay.
Now I'm doing this over Zoom, so here's what you get though. It's that bright area, and you can clean this area up a little bit more, X, if I wanted to. The more I paint in, the more the density will come in. Actually, my brush is bigger than I thought it was. Does that make sense what we're doing?
Yep.
Yes, thank you. That was
Yeah,
great.
that's great, thanks.
Did that? And then, obviously with your, I know I'm going way too much on this. I take the hardness and then I will paint with black, and then I can just, let me take my flow back up just so we can make this go by quicker. I take my flow up and I click right there and I hold down my shift key and I click right there. Well, this brush is way bigger than I thought. Okay. All right, and then X.
That's because you expanded the picture 300%. That's why.
I'm just saying the brush on my end is a tiny little brush.
That's well, the picture is blown up 300%. That's why the brush is big.
But you guys get the point about this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You have to have manual dexterity and be a good painter to do it, and I suck at that, so.
Well, that's why you do the flow at a low flow, because what it does is it allows for forgiveness. So, all right. don't save, and Command Q, and you should be out of there. There you go. So, hope that made sense.
Thank you. Yeah, great. I appreciate it. But other than that,
We're good.
okay. I wasn't sure about this Don Cesar because it's kind of small compared
Well,
to the bridge.
the part about Dunsies are, I mean, I take the highlights down a little bit more to give it at top a little bit of information, but the one on the right is way more overpowering.
Okay,
Anybody disagree?
yeah,
Nobody say anything? Okay, great. Everybody's muted. All right.
okay. Next. Enough on that one. Oops, we're too big again.
Caesar, I didn't mean to scare you away, man.
I'm here.
What do you see on this photograph? Where's the problem area?
I would say that you've got two images here to some extent. You've got the street image, and my eye goes down the street as opposed to focusing on the restaurant, if that was the title of the image. And so you see too much of in my opinion, you see too much of the street, and it causes you to walk continuous down the street to see what's down there.
Now, Dave, how do we fix that?
Tone down the street area.
And then you bring up
The restaurant.
the
The
restaurant.
Or you
My
could change
que-
the perspective by stepping a little bit further to the right,
All right, now,
and you don't have the leading line going down the street.
so let's just say he couldn't step to the right or left because there's a guy that's about to rob him on the right hand side, and then there's a cop on the left hand side, and they're about to fire off at each other.
You're also about to rob him.
Both cops were on the right, yeah.
Yeah, so he can't move. So how do we make this image? How do we make this image work?
Right, you said lower the lights on the right hand side on the sidewalk.
Right.
Yes, and then bring up the value of the lights on the inside. In fact, one of the major things that you can do, Dave, on this particular value is change the color temperature in one and bring up the color temperature in another.
Okay.
Use light to force the center of focus.
Yes, absolutely.
My question about this one is the assignment was nightscapes. I don't really see this as escape. It's a night shot, but it's not really escape.
It's more of a cityscape, a city look, city feel, what happens in the
Cityscape.
city.
Yeah, it's about what it's a high-end restaurant district that they've done this to in Chicago. And make for outdoor dining.
So yeah, I don't see this as a problem. I see it as much as far as a cityscape, as I see as it being everything is too much of the same value.
Right.
Anybody out there disagree? Chime in? No?
Yeah, I agree.
Great.
Next.
Karen?
She just left.
Karen left?
She didn't leave, but she got up from her desk.
Oh, she's not there right now.
Yeah, oh, here she comes.
She came back. My problem with this one is I didn't really feel like it was this one was not a nightscape.
Now, I will grant you that this was not a nightscape, but damn it, it's a good picture.
Yeah, it is good, but it's not a nightscape.
Yes.
I think we should have that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Karen, you had a little extra license there.
I got to tell you, this was taken on Charlie's first job in a year.
All right. So yes.
It's really good.
Yep. Now, I think that this shot right here would lend itself greatly to a vertorama.
Yeah.
And the reason why is
Right.
that,
Yeah,
that if I got more of the city in there, more of the street in there, you still be able to use your same lens that you're using. You just be going up to show more of what's happening up above it and more of the environment. If that makes any sense.
Going straight up, like,
yeah.
Yes. Showing more of the environment. And in that case, you'll be shooting horizontally.
mhm.
Len, I'm so interested in your thoughts on this.
First off, I would have cut this off at the bottom a little bit. Because that pointy thing right here is bugging me.
Yes.
So I would have taken this up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And then it's also, I think it's, I don't know if it's just the way it's coming through, but it's a little bright
Yes.
and needs a little contrast.
Uh-huh.
And those are my main thoughts on this one. The other issue again is it is sort of a nightscape, but it's not. What do you think? I don't
And
know.
what was the title of this?
A nightly scene on Duquesne Boulevard.
Okay. I have a little bit of a problem with the fact that this goes dark right in here. Let's see, right in this area right here. And I'll invert, double click on effects, and then bring the value up in this area right there.
Okay.
I'll bring that up. All right, and by bringing that one up, if you bring something up, you got to take something else down. So I'm going to bring this up, and then I'm going to run another one on the outside of that. And I'm not redoing your photographs. Let me see if I can pull that back up. I'm not redoing your photograph. That's not what it's about. But I am redirecting your light. I am doing that. Redirecting your light. There it is right there. There it is right up here. Pull that up and just recentering where this light is going. Double click on effects in order to reset everything, and then bring that value down even more.
Oh, so you're making the outside darker?
I'm making the outside darker so that we centralize on this one area. Our lights are leading us out to the back area.
Mhm.
But if you take a look at what we have here, so I see all the stuff that's leading me back, but everything is about that foreground.
Mhm.
Anybody see any difference in that?
I do.
Yes,
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, it's kind of like, what is this a photograph of?
And that's one of the reasons why I'm directing the attention toward the foreground, because prior to it really is, what is this about? So yes, I find that the scene itself is not strong enough. But if you're gonna do it, then redirect the light so at least I have some form of interest, and that is these hats or whatever it is that they're selling. All the other things are, which is the light and the color and the sky, those things are secondary. Lee Brand, does that make sense? Jack, does that make sense?
Lee, yeah, it's Lee's.
Yeah, no, it's Lee's, but I was wondering if Jack thought it made sense.
You're muted, Jack.
Yes, Robert, it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, if I'm out of line, let me know, you know.
No, those are good critiques, I think. They're valuable points. And it's the same lesson we keep learning over and over again. You know, where's the point of interest? Light it up, focus on that. Yeah, you've taken a picture that had a lot of light scattered all over it and you focused it down to this area, it makes sense. It has enhanced it.
Right. Looks like we lost Lee somehow.
Okay. Now we'll never talk about Lee again.
I think he left before we started on his pictures. Yeah,
Okay.
let's go to the next one.
Fung?
Yes, Chair.
Fung, here's, I've run into this problem before. Your blue saturation is blown out.
Ah,
And it's not one of those things that we easily know how to correct. But there is, I believe that there is something down here. Let's see if I can pull it up down in the calibrations. And let's see if I can, okay, let's pull it. Now it won't work there. Double click. So if I do it there, I'm gonna try it in the reds. Yeah, all right, remove it in the reds. Let me see if I can remove a little bit in the greens. And then come back to up here to the what do you call it? The HSL. Where is that?
Up,
Did I
up,
pass it?
up,
No,
the other way, the other way.
The other way? HSL. Okay. And I go to the saturation portion of this. Use my target adjustment tool. I know I'm gonna bring that back just a little bit there. I'm bringing the blue down. Now, if I go back down to where I was, down in the calibration, now I can pull those things right back up just a little bit there. Pull that back up just a tiny bit and pull this back up a little bit to give you that blue. So it's not so pushed out.
All right.
You see that? I know it dulls it down. Now I can, if I wanted to make that a more blue, I know I'm going overboard. I really do know I'm going overboard. And I grab a brush. Because that is less saturated, I got a new brush. I'm going to go down to my color, pick a blue, doesn't matter what kind of blue, it doesn't matter. And make the brush a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger on here. All right, a little bit less bigger. And then just paint in some blue. Now I know it's coming in light because I think I have some other things going on here, like shadows and all that kind of stuff. And blacks and exposure. There you go. See, there it is. Now that's a much more palatable blue.
yes.
See that?
And the
Also
other issue is the white light on the right-hand
Yeah,
side.
exactly. It's either gonna be the whole thing or none of it. And in this case, I think she should cut it off because there's that green thing in the lower right corner. I think you need to just chop that off.
Oh yeah, that side over there is going to be taken care of. But my point is controlling this blue here. And then we come back and we don't need that side over there at all.
Yeah.
In fact, now the reason why I don't cut past this thing, I mean, I don't cut it on this line right here. I cut before that line is that line now leads out.
Okay.
And let me do one last thing because I'm such a butt.
No, you're
I'm such a butt.
We're learning.
And that is going to be this portion right here.
DeHaze is your friend.
Yes. Gonna give me a little bit of so I can make that I can say that that's a lot different than that.
So Robert, are you saying that you would leave it there where it's leading out?
Leave it where?
Where you have the that of the image?
The
Is that
crop?
where you crop it?
The crop.
Yeah. On this particular image. Now, the blue is the most important part of this photograph.
Okay.
So this part leading out, and that doesn't bring up to a problem because this central area right here is the most important. If you can see my cursor,
Sure. Uh-huh.
that's the most important part of this. So
Good.
Yeah, much better. So what is my problem? Is blue color is the saturation too strong, right?
Yeah, the saturation is too strong, that's all.
Yes, okay. Okay, got it.
This one's Lee's as well.
I know I don't normally do this, but Wayne, I know when this image came up, I looked at your expression. So what do you find? Where do you find the problem in this image, Wayne?
I think that it should be more narrow. And
Where would
draw it into the center more than the sides. The sides are a little bit distracting.
How much of the side? That guy on the right-hand side, do I get rid of him or not?
I would, yeah. I think that's distracting as well.
Okay, let's see what happens when we do that. Oh, shirt tails. All right, I get rid of him. All right, and let me go over here just a second, just to give a preview of what we're getting. All right, that's a preview, and then if I'm gonna cut in on him, then that means I need to come in just up to her. What does that do for you?
I come in from the left a little bit and cut the people out on the left.
All right, so let's do letter R again. And I go into the left and I cut them out. They're completely out now.
Trouble is, it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, there's a central figure down there. Now, so Wayne, are you complete there? Are you happy you're there?
Maybe come in from the top down.
All right. I'm coming from the top down. How much down?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, now you can see the guy on the street with the mask on better.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what you have. You have on the right-hand side a masker in the center, and you got people that are gathering less than 6 feet apart.
Yep.
But the thing I find interesting about this photograph is this guy's about to get hit in the middle. So does that work for you, Wayne?
I like it better, yeah.
All right, let me do one more thing then. Again, if the guy becomes in the center becomes our focus, then guess what we do?
Like,
We make him the focus.
darken everything else. Yep.
You see the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Much better.
See, Wayne, you sit there and you don't say anything, but I know there's something up there because when this image hit the floor, your eyes jump.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Wayne.
Sure.
Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. Just
Okay.
to enhance the point. Just to enhance the point.
Yep.
All right, and you know this will be bigger, right?
Yeah.
And then we get this side over here.
Yeah.
And we'd make it all, nice and clean. But that's pretty much how it goes. Is that making the point?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Again, it's a crude way of doing it, but we made the point. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Wayne.
Well done, Robert.
It's now 8:45. We need to move it along, guys.
Okay. All right.
Oops. Not G. F.
Brian, talk to me on this one just briefly.
I was looking for a cityscape that wasn't just a cliche cityscape, and I found this interesting looking boat. The problem I had with this photograph is that there were lights on the left side that shined on this sidewalk, and I had to do a lot of work to get rid of those. And I ended up using Quick Select to select the entire sidewalk, and I created another mask. I created another layer with the sidewalk, and then I went over there to mask it, and I found out that even though it was on its separate layer, I was still able to I overshot the right side, so I had to be real careful and use my terrible manual dexterity to, to light, reduce the light on the sidewalk.
Okay, in this case, the sidewalk is not really the problem. The problem is as you mentioned about some of the other images not being really a cityscape, you're making a boat a cityscape.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking if we cropped off the bottom, that would make the cityscape more prominent.
Well, to me, the best feature of this photograph is the reflection of the boat.
Yet you told me about cityscape. Then it becomes about a boat at that point.
It's too much boat, not enough cityscape at this point.
Right. And the fact that the brightness that your eye follows goes to the cityscape, and as opposed to the brightness going to the boat, which is to a large extent, the premier subject based on the name that was selected.
So you're killing my photo. Well, okay. But
Thank you.
I mean, what I'm hearing is it would be a better photo in general than it is in cityscapes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Would be better in general.
Yeah, it's a great, it's an awesome image. I mean, I'm not crazy about this sidewalk over here, and I know it's hard to eliminate that because you can't walk on the water, but yeah, I mean, the boat is just so dominant. That's the problem.
Right. So what could you get a great shot of the boat if you walked past and then shot from the other direction? I mean,
don't know until it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that appears like you might have a great opportunity, but the reflection might not be there. But it's the boat looks like a great subject beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, but like you're saying, the lights that were such a pain in the butt on the sidewalk are probably what created the reflection.
Yeah, possible, yeah.
Well, then you got to go back during the right time of day and.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's nice that the water was,
Right.
let's see, how long was this? It was a 12-second. That's why the water's so nice and smooth. It's great that the boat wasn't moving up and down. That was pretty cool. Good at 12 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We good on this one?
Yeah.
We're good.
Karen, you let me down.
Yeah, this is not a nightscape.
I know.
This is street photography.
Yep. There's street photography on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that was my issue too. It's street photography.
Yeah. I like the image.
Yep.
Robert, could she have done better bringing out some of those shadows?
Always.
Always. Yeah, especially.
Yeah, I'm learning.
The person.
And then she could have cropped out some of the bottom.
Yep.
Any comments, Karen?
No, I said I left it darker because I liked the mood.
Yeah.
I actually brought the shadows down.
Shadows, the foreground shadows are good to be down. Yes. There's nothing there in order to indicate it.
Right.
But a little bit more about what's in the cart.
Okay.
The cart and the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go, go crazy with this thing as usual. I could do this too.
Here we go.
Just bring up the shadows, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because the card is it's very important to see what possessions that street people have,
Mhm.
which is very little.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're talking about street life, that's part of his life right there. That's his
Right
whole
there
life.
in that card.
Yeah,
Mhm.
his whole life right there. All right, next.
Is this you, Brian?
Yep, this is me.
I was sitting there trying to figure out who else shot this other than you.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, because of those lines that are in the foreground, the light lines leading, I didn't think you were that creative.
Oh,
He's learning something from you, Robert.
I'm just saying.
What are those blue lines on the sidewalk?
what's the name of the photo?
The
The
bike.
name of the photo is Bike Light Trails.
Bike lights. Ah,
There was a bike, I took about 6 of these shots.
yeah.
And, you know, the people were passing by, and when I got home, I saw that one. I said, okay, that's the one.
Yep,
Yeah.
that is definitely the one.
That's very cool.
Those blue lights make the whole photograph. Otherwise, it'd fall apart.
The only thing I was worried I was gonna get dinged for, obviously the bike is in there, and it's really, you barely can see it, but if you could, it's blurry. And I thought I might get dinged for that, but apparently not.
Nah.
Nope, that's part of the motion.
Yes.
You can't have those light motion if you don't have something in motion to making them.
I also thought that Jim would have hammered me because the Sykes Tower, the side of the building is straight, but the roof is not.
This ain't about the building.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's not about the building.
You've been eating too many $60 buffet lunches, man.
Let's go to the next one.
You know what? Creativity is catching on.
Yep.
Hey. I owe it all to clean living and hanging around the bar room.
I'm just telling you. You've taken a normal image and added something to it. A little more contrast and color saturation would help it. But I see where you're going, and I like what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's one thing with ICM. You've really got to start using the contrast.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how many composites is there? 2 or 3?
It's a straight image and 2 ICM composite images.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here, right there is the 2. Yeah.
So you see how much more rich that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing with ICM, you've got to use a lot of contrast. And you can use a little, yeah, the dehaze doesn't help much on this one.
No, okay.
There's also a vertical line on the right side that has to be blended in a little bit better. It's a very sharp line on
Yeah, I
the
see
right
it.
side.
Yep.
That should be.
You know what we do in this world? In this world, when we have to
Yeah, go crop it out. Yeah.
take it out.
What line?
Yeah.
What you talking about?
I don't see a line.
I don't see no damn line.
I was also wondering, how this would look if you just block out the top and leave that normal and just show the bottom, you know.
That'd be another great image too.
Yeah.
That would be cool, I thought.
And I think you're absolutely correct on that. And so you got several images in this that you can work from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the cool things about it's creative. You let your creative juices go crazy.
Absolutely.
My juices were dripping all over the place.
Now you're not dealing with reality anymore. So you can do whatever you want.
Yep. So good job, Jim.
Thank you. That was fun.
And then you put your pants on straight again.
This was a challenge. I tried to do this numerous times, And I kept having one problem or another. A lot of times the buildings were, I couldn't get all the buildings vertical. It was just quite a challenge just to get this.
My only thing is was this a panorama?
Yeah.
There's like a line right here.
No.
Well, I wound up doing the panorama inside of Photoshop
Uh-huh.
instead of in Lightroom because I just couldn't make it work in Lightroom. So
Yeah, it missed. There's a couple of lines. There's
Yeah,
one
a
right
couple
here
of,
and one right here. And
Uh-huh.
other than that, it's a cool shot. It just,
Yeah.
it just didn't work out exactly.
I should have, to be honest, I didn't see it when I first, never mind. That's what they all say.
That's what we all say. Yep.
It didn't look like that on my computer, but I can see it. So it is.
Yep.
Does look like that on my-
Well, you know what? The part of the problem I think is because the lights are changing color.
Yeah.
That it throws Photoshop off totally. When it's trying to look for the lights. And if right here, for example, it's gold and then blue, and it's like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
It's a little too tricky of a scene for Photoshop to be able to contend with, I think.
Yeah.
What if you cropped up to that line?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a cool shot, even if we cut off right here,
Yeah.
And I have some versions like that because that worked. When I just tried to, and I even tried to go even further to the left to get the railroad bridge into this. But they don't light up the railroad bridge anymore, so it was just kind of a.
Yeah, that would have blown Photoshop's mind for sure.
Yeah, it did. Believe me, it did. Oh.
This one's Caesar's.
and
Yes, and I blocked up my blocks. I'm guilty.
yeah, but that guy in the middle of this thing, that really makes this photograph.
Yeah.
But then you blocking up, so that tells me that you're not in control of your exposure.
Well, I
Point
wasn't.
to the guy.
In fact, I painted over some things to make it even more
Oh, that guy,
blocked
okay.
over some things because I didn't think they detracted, in my opinion, from the 3 monuments that I was going for.
You don't have to have all of them with detail, but you have to have enough of them to say that you're controlling the exposure.
Okay. Yeah, like for example, in the right hand corner, there was a lower right. There's actually a statue there that I chose not to bring out. I just painted over it to hide it.
Uh-huh. And as I mentioned, when the blacks are blocked up, you're hiding something.
Yep.
I just think it would have been an even better picture if you would get the National Guard beating the crap out of that guy for violating the security zone.
That was the thought, but I ran out of money.
All right. Okay, we got 17 generals to do. We're gonna need to move this one along a little faster, guys.
Okay.
It's now 9 o'clock.
All right. This guy went to the dentist and got a root canal. I don't know if you could see it, but it's right there.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Yikes.
So that the dentist is right here giving this guy a root canal. Anyway, that's my thought. An excellent photograph. Whoever captured this.
I would have given it a different. I didn't like the blood is there, but I don't see any guts.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you need to think about there's no guts in this one. So that's the only issue I had with that was the guts part of the title. So.
And I would have labeled this at the dentist.
Yeah. Or big, something about teeth, because that's all. This is about teeth. Anyway, all right, next one. This is another one of Chuck's.
Yeah. Chuck's not here, so I'm going to bypass this one. Doug, we got a few problems here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the image when I looked at it on my screen was really overexposed.
Yeah, it was overexposed in one area and too dark in the other.
Yeah.
And this item coming out of the back end of this, these items coming out of the back end of this piece of his back,
This,
yeah, that needs to go.
yeah, this branchy thing.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's, I mean, it's really hard to get these guys against a dark background, no matter what you're doing. You know,
Right.
it's just the camera, it's hard to, they can't have a hard time handling it. So. This one is Catherine.
It was-
Catherine. I'm not quite sure what you want me to know about this photograph.
Well, I was really playing up the golds, because I really was struck by that when I was photographing this, the golds that came out of grass that was relatively burnt.
Yes, and yet you gave me a path line on the left-hand side.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was kind of like a nice touch.
Well, the problem is it's leading, a path line leads you somewhere.
You could
And-
say, you could have changed the title to A Path Through the Gold or something like that.
And because it leads you somewhere, the path leads you somewhere. That's exactly what we do. We go over here and we miss the goal. Let's see if I can see.
Yeah.
We go in this direction and we miss the goal in that one.
Oh. Okay. So you can't save this one, right? Nothing to do.
Could, if we had lightened up this area here, would that help?
What light up which area?
The path.
Light up the path and then rename it. Then the path. This is a much more interesting photograph about the path than it is about the grass. The
Mm.
grass becomes the stage for the path.
Yeah, so because you got kind of an S curve going here. If you
Yes.
lighten this up. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
Yep.
thank you.
That makes sense, Catherine?
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you're opening my eyes to these things. I'm putting the ones in that I'm not sure about so that I can get your opinion.
So I'm only doing this kind of stuff because I'm just trying to impress Jeff.
This is Lee's. He's not here, but what's your comments on this one?
Oh, this is general, right? And what do you
This was
call
in
this?
general, yeah, so this was Lee's.
Oh, I thought it was a great shot.
Yep.
And the reason why is because it's a part of history in this kind of shot. I feel like I'm back at it, some sort of diner from the 50s or something. And oh wait a minute, I'm not that old. I'm only 35.
Yeah, right.
But we, as much as we talk about words being in shots that lead shots, this particular shot is not necessarily about the word, but the nostalgic feeling
Right.
and that the late afternoon of bringing it in daylight, low evening light, along with the actual signs, matching those two values. And I thought he did a great job on doing that.
Yeah, this is actually one of several of these types of signs along the main route in Titusville. If anybody goes over there, there was this one, and this diner actually is really good. They have such good sweet potato fries. They're good, and good burgers too. But down the street from this is a couple of old motels with old signs on those as well. And we shot those as well. We just had a blast going from old sign to old sign.
Well,
And where is that again?
This is in Titusville, over on the East Coast.
Yeah, he did a wonderful job on this.
And what's the street in Titusville?
I cannot remember it's the main road through Titusville.
US 1.
Yeah, I think it's US 1, yeah.
Robert, can I see just a little more contrast on this? Because the sign kind of feels like it's faded out a little bit to me.
How's that?
Yeah. I
All
like
right,
that
now,
better.
just as a note, contrast changes color.
Yeah.
All right, just as a note. So I would do local contrast. So you can't do it here. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, but yes, because if you run the contrast up, you'll notice that the colors in the background will change.
Right.
All right, I see.
Yeah, so that blue goes to an unnatural blue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you do a contrast, let's say you wanted that building, you would take a brush and just paint around that section of it.
Okay.
seems like the blue is not dark enough to me for the nights. He was trying for blue hour there, I think.
Go down to calibration at the bottom. And then do the yeah, bring the blue up or down. Make big moves. There you go. You get a little softer transition when you use calibration of blue.
Yeah, it doesn't darken this as much.
Yes, that's correct. So that's a little tip right there that you're gonna get next week.
A little preview.
Yeah.
All right, next one. This is mine.
Yes, I love the fact, and I don't like to say this too often, that you gave me a payoff.
That's what I was going for. Woo woo.
Yes.
And guys, this is Robinson Preserve, where we're going next month.
It's a beautiful photo, really beautiful. I love it.
It feels like
I turned around. I was walking in the other direction and I turned around like, oh my God.
well, this feels like dogwoods in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I know it's infrared, but that's what dogwoods around now. Well, I think somewhere around now or next month is going to look like. Dogwood trees.
Yep.
The Dogwood Festival.
Yes.
Festival. Yep.
Nice payoff. Fong?
Yes.
I want you to think about this. Now you see the eyes are missing. You see they're very dark. Whenever you
how to make a shiny, I don't know.
well, now I don't want you to correct this photograph. I don't want you to correct it. I want you to, when you're shooting, try to put the sun near your back. It doesn't work for people that well, but put the sun near your back, and that means, and then the light will be on your birds.
Yeah, for birds, it is especially important because they have awesome colors. And unlike flowers, sunlight makes birds look better.
Yes.
In the sun.
Put the sun on front, you said.
Yes.
Yeah, the front light,
Okay.
sun
Okay.
behind your back.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Sylvia,
Yes.
Sylvia, you got
Yes.
a process that doesn't take me anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a nice process, but come on, you just agree with me way too quickly, so you must have seen it as well.
Right. Well, there's nothing, yeah, it's into the woods, but there's not really any.
Is this a fence or something over
Yeah,
here?
it's a fence. Yeah, it goes along and then there's a path. There is a path at the end of that goes into the woods, but you don't see it. So it's
Yeah, you should have, if you stepped over, to the side a bit and it showed us the fence in the path, then it would have been better, I think.
Yes, much better.
yeah,
So,
path's
you know,
very small. I don't know if you could see it or not, but yeah.
Could I
Yes.
ask Sylvia what the treatment is with this?
Yeah, I put well, it's ICM obviously, and then I put a light texture on it, just like a black and white texture from Topaz, and then I did an abstract filter on Topaz, but took it way down, so just to give it a little more definition on those horizontal definition on those leaves in the back. That was it. That's all.
It was very interesting.
The right-hand side is starting to develop. It's the center that's leaving me empty.
Yeah. Yeah, this part is awesome on this side.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, next.
Ooh, now Lynn, I am so mad at you. I am so upset with you.
Why?
Right-hand side.
Because of the
Yes. Get them out of there for me, please.
Okay. The only issue is I think I did try that, but I was cutting off the leaves.
Just at the edge, right there. I don't care if you cut off the leaves. Just at the edge. No, I'm sorry. Go into that second tree. I mean, if otherwise, clone out those trees.
Okay, I could have maybe cloned them out. Yeah.
Yes, but it's just that this thing is so balanced, and then I got that.
Okay.
Is this Pepintosa?
I did it. Yeah, I used my phone, and I used the Average Cam Pro on my phone and walked around the tree.
Yes. All right. If you don't know, Pepintosa is an artist who sort of reinvented the term called in the round.
Right.
And so what you do is you walk around something and make several shots of it, and then you combine it inside of Photoshop. Or if you're on the phone, there's a, what is it called? Cam something?
Average Cam Pro does it for you
Average Cam
automatically.
Pro, yeah, and it combines the images.
This is one of the things that Eileen mentioned last month.
So yeah,
So
Pep Ventosa. You have such a beautiful scene, but I don't have a payoff.
yeah,
What do you give me?
this is
How is
Catherine.
that lighted part not a payoff?
What's in the lighted part?
The light
What is it?
It's
color.
the sun coming through the openings in the foliage. That was the real scene. I didn't add that.
I'm not saying that you'd add, I said the scene looks great and I get to the light, but when I look there, what do I get? What do I see?
The brown at the bottom there,
Brown dirt.
okay.
That's my payoff.
Oh,
If you put light on something, you're exposing something. You're bringing to light something.
right.
And what do I have?
Should have, hey,
What should I do? Clone that?
Catherine, you should have composited a Buddha.
You know what? That's a very good idea.
What I'm saying is that you've given me this light, but when I get there, I get red dirt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so should I clone the foliage and cover it?
No, you got to give me something when you give me light.
Oh,
Yeah,
Give me something.
you got to put something there that it's shining on.
okay. And what about the foreground? Is it okay to leave the water lilies in the foreground
Oh.
to the left?
All of that stuff is great.
Okay, okay,
You just don't have anything that we're to look at.
okay. I understand perfectly. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Fong, were you trying to do
Yes.
a ICM with this?
This looks like a composite to me.
But when I looked at this, I saw the image right here.
Uh-huh. Right where the light is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's too much over here that's dark. Whoops. That's dark and whoops. That just doesn't add anything to it. So yeah, I would just get rid of all of that and go with it right here.
Thank you. Okay.
Is this yours, Sylvia?
This
Yes.
is
I'm marrying you. Yeah, just pull out the wedding dress.
the only thing I have a problem with this is Sylvia, it's almost a little too dead center.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't really crop a whole lot. I was not obviously with my macro lens, so
I mean, I would say, I don't know which side to go from, but
yeah.
Just
When I cropped,
just a little bit off center.
Yeah. When I crop though, I would lose that little bit of definition of where the pet,
Yeah.
on the outside. So yeah, it was.
No matter what, pull out the wedding dress. We're getting married.
Mm.
Oh, Chuck is back.
Chuck is back. Chuck came in late. We did all his pictures already. Sherry, this one, we need to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one I know she's just getting started with the IR, so she's having fun with it. And this is, you see how white the leaves come out and they get overwhelm you, but the problem is here, there's just too much going on.
Okay. I just like almost like fairy type effect of it,
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could see that where you could, kind of, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if that's going to help it or not. We'll see. That's a little better. There's less stuff all around there.
I actually have a version of that. And
Yeah,
then,
I mean, it's just,
then I decided to go
again,
wide.
there's not much in the way of a payoff here. Just too much going on. But this is much better.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I like the way this is like my first attempt, guy. I just got my IR conversion camera last week.
Yep.
And so we just went to a very local, like a park that's within a mile of our house, Veterans Park here in
Yeah.
Hudson.
This is much better, and you're seeing, see, these are new growth leaves,
Yeah.
and the new growth leaves are super suckers of IR. They love it
Right.
because they're as they get older, they emit less white light. So if you shot these same trees in 6 or 7 months, they're not going to come out as white as they are now. So this was this shot's great, and it would even look good in black and white.
Yeah, I love the
Yeah.
light blue color. Yeah, the black and white
When you go, that's the issue. When you go for that, that's another thing. You got to make sure you use lots of contrast in IR, and dehaze is your friend in IR as well.
Yeah.
Especially in the color color IR.
Yeah.
So, and we'll work on this. We were supposed to meet yesterday and we couldn't do it. So we'll get this. We'll get better at this.
Yeah, I'll try to meet with you sometime in the next couple of weeks. I had a real health emergency yesterday, so.
I'm glad you're doing better.
A little bit. I did end up having, well.
Got a little bit of a focus issue here at a light. Got both things.
Yeah. Yeah, his eye isn't really in focus. And I know that's a fox squirrel, isn't it, Doug?
Yeah.
Looks like a fox squirrel.
It is a fox.
Yeah, so those guys are not that common. And you see when you want to get the shot, no matter what.
It was so big, we thought it was a raccoon going across at first. It was quite far away.
Squirrel. Yeah, they're big compared to regular squirrels.
That was in that same park where I just did the trees.
Yeah. I don't know if you could have, I don't know if lightening it would have helped. Yeah, you could do this. And then use the brush and just paint in erase that part on the squirrel. I mean, I'm not sure that you could have, I'm not sure because there's so much of a difference between, between the squirrel and this and that. I don't know if you could have saved it or not, but. Robert, any comments?
No, this image is not salvageable in its current form.
Yeah.
And Doug, don't hurt me for it.
We still want you to come back, Doug. This is really blue. Go for it, Robert. You got control.
Now, yeah, I just want to do this shadows, and this is one little part here, and I know my brush is too big, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
See, that's the part I wanted to keep dark because there's people there, and I just wanted the focus to be on the couple.
Well, then you need to make them lighter too. They're almost impossible to see. Yeah.
This photo didn't turn out near as well as I envisioned it when I was there, and I submitted it primarily so that I could be told what I did wrong.
Well, you got these figures back here, and these figures are payoffs.
But I just wanted the couple to be I didn't want 6 people to be the payoff. I wanted the couple walking hand in hand to be the payoff.
Then take these guys out in Photoshop. But right now, what you're doing to this whole photograph is you're sacrificing the baby for the bathwater. You sacrifice the bathwater for the baby. Yeah. Well, however way you say that.
So I also did play with the color, but when I lightened it up, it just seemed to lose.
Lighten it up? It's just a matter of saturation on this. What is it? Saturation? That's what you had? And
See, but now all the people come into play. That was the problem. Besides, that's an ugly color.
All right, let's just, okay, I didn't have too much of a problem with the blue itself. Now, let me take this back. All right, let me take this back to bringing the blue saturation down. Okay, I think I'm there, right? Okay, yes. Now let's go back with luminous. You know, luminous has to do with lightness. Bring that down, just like back down like so. And then go back to saturation. And it's a dance. It is truly a dance.
Yeah.
There you go. How's that feeling?
That looks good.
Yeah.
I still, when I was doing the photo, what I don't like about this is that you can see those other people.
Yeah, you do. You go to Photoshop and take them out.
Okay.
Yeah, just take, the two further away, take them out, but you want the couple to stay there.
Right, yeah. There's actually 6 people there.
Yeah, you keep the couple and you just take the other people out, and that's content aware.
Okay.
Content aware will take care of that. And you can always run down the couple and tell them to pose.
Actually, this is kind of a funny story. The couple was come behind me, and the guy says to me, "Is it okay if we go through?" And I said, "Sure." And then they start walking really, really slowly. And then the guy says, "What's your ISO?" And I said, "I'm thinking I'm being smart." And I say, "It's 160 because I'm on a tripod." But I realized about 20 seconds later that I was an idiot for having it at 160 because I should have had it higher so that I would reduce the blur of the couple walking. So the guy probably thought I was a moron because basically I was, and I didn't realize the opportunity that he was giving me.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Next. Last
Here's
one.
your sign.
Now I talked earlier about those edges of light.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim.
You got one right over here.
I see it now.
See it now, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And take that crop up from the bottom a little bit.
Yeah.
To where that line right there.
Yeah, that's good.
How about the
That's
tree on
kind
the
of-
right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's see what it would
Okay.
look like without it.
This was just another attempt to do some compositing, and it was not nearly as much ICMing in this one, but there is a little bit in there.
There you go.
More contrast. Yeah, again,
Yeah,
contrasting.
more contrasting. Yeah.
Saturation is the name of the game with ICM for sure.
Yep. And it's a bit more contrast.
I want to start a branch called UCM, called Unintentional Camera Movement, specifically for old guys with shaky hands.
And what I want to do is I want to counter that with another class that says no CM.
But
All right. Hey, Chuck, you missed out on yours.
So was that star shot? Was that a composite, Chuck? Chuck, unmute yourself.
We
The
lose
Milky
you.
Way,
I said, was the star shot? Was that the Starry Night? Was that a composite?
the Milky Way, yes. The one with the trees, no.
No, not the trees. The trees. I checked that the stars and how they were going behind the clouds, and I went, yeah, okay, Jim would approve of this one. But the other one, I said, there's no way that you can get these guys to stand there that still and do what they were doing.
Yes, that composite.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
You want to give us a little brief rundown on this one?
The Milky Way, I wasn't sure if I had
entered that before. I know I entered it in another club, but I wasn't sure if I entered it in this one. So the mountains in the Milky Way was from another shot. And then the photographers was another shot in Utah during daytime.
Great.
You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you learned well, Grasshopper.
I had a great teacher.
But we had a lot of issues with this one, Chuck.
Why?
You got too much going on. There's nothing to anchor it.
Yeah, it's too much. It needs to be like this much.
Yes.
Oh.
Now you're anchored.
And Caesar suggested that you wait for the Ferris wheel to turn, so you would have a blur, which would make it more pleasing to look at as well.
Yeah, I tried to anchor it with the tent in the middle, but I
It
guess
was
it
too
didn't work.
much of an anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really anchored it. I mean, that's like,
That's
and
a
this
lot.
stuff is all there's too much going on over here.
Way
Okay.
too much. Yeah.
Yeah, this side is the picture.
Okay.
So,
Scratch that one. I didn't enter
sorry. All right, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So is Jeff still with us? Jeff, did you get anything out of this?
He's probably
sure did. It
asleep.
was very, very informative. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we
Really
drove
nice
on
work.
a lot, but that's the whole point, is to not just competition, but to teach. And we used to talk about them and not do anything, but we're visual people, or we wouldn't be in photography. And so we started showing what we met what we can. And that's the level of photography in our group has just gone through the roof because of what we're doing here. And I want to thank Robert and Jim, who are not here. Jim, who's not here tonight. They do most of the critiquing, but you see the rest of us chiming in as well. So
Yeah, very,
Nan, you did a great job.
very
Nan,
informative.
you did a great job tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
Lynn, you did fine.
Good.
Hey,
Wonderful.
good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night, guys.
Hi, John Boy.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hi, Grandpa.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Okay.